All right, I guess everyone's watching out for the rebased numbers now from the NBS. Definitely that's going to inform the next move by monetary policy and investors, definitely. So we're all waiting for that data. Well, to our first conversation now, in a bold move to address the infrastructure gaps and unlock the potential of Nigeria's creative industries, the federal government approved the establishment of the Creative and Tourism Infrastructure Corporation, CTIC. Well, let's talk more about this now with Mr. Kayode Adebayo, the founder, Crowd, and board director of Arts Connect Africa. Great to have you on the show.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So, talk to me now. How will the CTIC, identify and prioritize infrastructure projects to ensure, maximum impact on the creative and tourism industries? We've seen other countries, reap the benefits, of their tourism sector. So tell me how this is going to help.
Well, I think the idea is the federal government in this direction to be able to bring in private and public involvement in this is quite interesting because typically, government is supposed to just play an enabling role in something like this. So the fact that they are bringing in private sector into this with an intention that private sector is supposed to do more of the driving of it, while the government allows an enabling environment for their investment and for them to be able to achieve return on that investment is quite good. The good thing about that is that the moment investors are able to see that government is involved, government is putting...
There's one guy that's at front desk, so that I won't keep him waiting for too long.
The fact that the government will see, people are seeing that government...
All right, we'll try and solve that interruption there in the Zoom meeting. But, definitely it's all about how Nigeria can also, reap the benefits when it comes to tourism in the country and how we can learn from other African countries that are taking advantage of their tourism sector. All right, sorry for the interruption there, Kayode, but you can finish your thoughts now.
Yes. As I said earlier, the government coming into this in a more of like a PPP approach is quite comforting because it means that private investors are not just coming in and walking that whole line by themselves and taking all the risk. The government will be able to buffer the risk quite a bit. And to a very large extent, it gives investors a lot of comfort, knowing that they are not in this alone. The government is involved with them. And I think we will be seeing quite a lot, because if private investors are coming in, you can be sure that to a large extent they are going to make sure that everybody crosses, they dot the I's and they cross the T's, especially when it comes to them putting in funding and then looking at the return on investments that will come from there. Government stands to benefit and the people of Nigeria stands to benefit from it also, if it is properly done. There's no gainsaying, we need a lot of infrastructure right now in the Nigerian market in order to be able to give value to the culture products that we have. And if we don't have it, it means that to a large extent, a lot of our value chain, a lot of the value on that whole process will not be captured into Nigeria properly. And infrastructure is one of those things that can make it happen. If you have the right venues to be able to deliver your events, if you have the right internet structure to be able to deliver the, deliver the whole process, if you have the right payment solution system, the technology and all that, it only it will only go up and up. And I think that is what we need right now in Nigeria as an economy, to be able to help us drive up our GDP, especially from that particular area of the sector.
Right, it would be great to actually see Nigeria taking advantage of the tourism sector. But what specific mechanisms do you think should be put in place to attract and secure investments from both local and international partners?
Sorry, I didn't get that.
So what kind of mechanisms do you think should be put in place, so that we can attract and secure investments from local and international partners, not like we're just looking at only international or local, but from both parties?
Yes, I believe that to a large extent, with government being involved, it helps development institutions, even on a local and global level, to want to play and be part of that, because government is able to help give that comfort in the area of securing those investments to make sure that it has good return on their investment. For example, the African Development Bank has been doing quite a lot and earmarking some kind of financial capacity for this, but there is no policy in place really that can allow that particular value to be able to trickle down and be used properly in order to be able to give the value that the economy needs right now. We are looking at a very young people population that by 2035, we will have a population of almost a billion people on the African continent, where Nigeria is the highest, that has the highest population, that will need to be gainfully employed, that will need to participate in economic activities. So I think the institutions, the development banks and a lot of the global financial institutions, they are looking at wanting to participate in this because the opportunities there, opportunities in upskilling people, opportunities in getting technology to be made available. And if this is the comfort that they need to be able to want to go ahead, I think it's a welcome, it's a welcome situation.
Right. Most of the time, we put focus more on urban areas, but how will the CTIC, ensure inclusivity and accessibility for, small-scale creatives and entrepreneurs in mostly rural and underserved areas?
Well, I think it will be a gradual process. I think at the very beginning of this, it will always be the people that have been prepared for this opportunity that we have that first movers advantage on it. But the good thing about it is that after a while, you start to see it trickle down, and with the intention that it has to get to the fringes, basically. Because when you look at Nigeria as an economy, we have like 4 or 5 main countries and main towns and cities. Those people, practitioners that have been in this for quite a while, there's no how you move that sector forward without involving small and medium enterprises. From the creative sector, it has always been shown that 60–70% of all economic activity is driven by small and medium enterprises. So the people that have prepared for this for a long time will first be the first, they will benefit first from this. And then after a while, you start to see being able to spread across different areas, because right now I think we have the data to a large extent to be able to guide every investor in that space. We have data coming from the telcos, we have data coming from even the payment solution companies. All these things are data that I believe can be harnessed by the government to be able to plan how that whole process will be able to go. And I think it should be, they should run it in a phase-by-phase approach, because the idea of wanting to pursue it once might be a bit counterproductive. But if you take it at the first phase level, second phase level, and then the third phase level, I think it has the potential to be able to deliver that value, as you have mentioned.
Right, and mostly we're getting reports of the dirty December in 2024. How do you see this impacting, the ones to come? Do you think Nigeria will reap more benefits, from the upcoming dirty Decembers?
Well, it's been interesting, because December has always been dirty in Nigeria for quite a while. It's just that this particular one somehow captured the attention of the government, because at least some governments were deliberate in putting together a plan in order to be able to see what it is, what it looks like, and to be able to have the necessary metrics to guide them in how they want to intervene going forward, basically. The numbers are good. From what I see, I think the hotels, a lot of businesses in that whole value chain were quite affected positively with this whole thing, especially the businesses from, for example, the real estate market was quite affected by this positively. Now that there's data, now that the government has seen potential, I think there will be more preparedness, not even only from Lagos state government alone, but by other states generally that are within that region, especially the southwest region, to be able to put in place the necessary planning and the necessary policies and even necessary investment that will allow those numbers to continue to grow going forward even from 2025. I'm sure a lot of governments right now are starting, they have put committees in place to start to plan for December 2025 already. And I think those are the benefits of having the right things in place, because we have the people, we have the numbers, we have the culture that is very attractive to the world. It's only if we're able to properly propagate it and display it and publicize it, it will continue to bring more people in. And I think beyond even just the whole thing about coming to party for a whole month in Nigeria, it will start to trickle down into things like these people coming in wanting to invest in real estate, wanting to do some form of backward integration to be able to plug their global business into the local market here, and then be able to see how they can tap into the human resource market here to be able to kind of support their global business. Because Africa is where the business is in the next next 5 to 10 years because of the youth population that we will start to have. Africa will become the youngest continent by 2025, where 1 billion people will be 25 years and less. And you can imagine what that will be as a labor force maybe on a global level.
Right, and definitely we have entrepreneurs that would like to, key into all of this. But how can they build, skills and capacity, that can help Nigeria's creative workforce, even, get better and key into this CTIC? Okay,
I think there are already initiatives, especially the kind of initiative I belong to, the Arts Connects Africa. And then our company also, crowd.com, people are positioned already with that whole idea of wanting to starting to skill Africans, getting them not only to operate as local labor or local talents alone, but making them into global talents. For example, Africa is very affordable, especially when you look at how the cost of labor here on the African continent, skilled labor here on the African continent, and compared to the cost of saying maybe in more developed economies. So platforms like the network like Art Connects Africa, ACA, is already working around training. They've been training professionals, the next African professionals in these areas. And Crowd also have developed a technology that also not just only trains, but help match local talents to international employers, basically. And they will be doing that with some level of affordability, so they have a lot more to be able to invest back into their business is going forward. And of course, if the biggest customers and the biggest demands will be coming from Africa by 2030, 2035, it only just makes sense that businesses start to look at how to be more culturally intelligent about Africa, how to be more market intelligent about Africa, and also being business intelligent about Africa. So it's good times coming for Africa.
All right, let's get Africa ready for business in 2025. Thank you so much. It was great having your perspective. Kayode Adebayo is the founder, Crowd, and board director of Arts Connect Africa. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. Bye.
I'll take a break now. When we come back, we head straight to the markets, find out what's playing out for the local boss and most of the global markets that we track. Do stay with us.